Recording. Okay. All right, we can go ahead and get started. So, hello everyone. My name is Amber Jackson, and I am the owner and culture curator of the Black Leaf Tea and Culture Shop. It is a loose leaf tea company, and I also use this platform to host community and cultural events such as this one as my tea talks, where we get to discuss any and everything from current events, cultural topics, dating, sex, relationships, anything that affects the Black community on a day-to-day basis. And I'm so happy that you all are here discussing entrepreneurship journeys. I have four incredible ladies here with me. We'll just start with introductions. So you can just say your name, where you're from, just give like a brief description of your business and what you do. So we'll start to the right of me, which would be Yasmin.
Oh, okay. So I am Yasmin Curtis. I own Two Fish Crab Shack in Chicago. I am from Chicago, still live in Chicago. Two Fish Crab Shack is a seafood restaurant. It's like the seafood boil restaurant. And currently, not only do I own Two Fish Crab Shack, we do have a frozer section component, like a grocery component where we actually sell our food inside of Mariano's, where it's a large grocery chain in the Chicago area. And we sell it also in Wisconsin, which they're owned by like Kroger. So we sell the seafood boil frozen to go. So it's Two Fish to go. So it is the seafood, like if you eat seafood boils, you can go inside the grocery store, buy the crab legs, the shrimp, and the sauce and make your own boil at home.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Down from there is Jasmine.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Jasz, and I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, but I currently live in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a mom to a 6-year-old boy, so I'm definitely teen mom and bag. Y'all know what, immediately after. I'm the founder of Jasz Gym Fit, where I am empowering all women, but especially Black women and moms and entrepreneurs on how to get fit and how to, especially my moms, how to snap back after it safely and how to work out during your pregnancy.
Next, Toyin.
Hi, everyone. My name is Toyin, and I am Wanderer-in-Chief of Roam Loud. I like to say that Roam Loud has two important values as an activewear and athleisure brand. We encourage women to navigate the world boldly, and we also want to create a lifestyle where brown skin is at the forefront and not an afterthought. So currently, Roam Loud is, we sell directly online, but we also are in retail for Core Power Yoga.
Do you know? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Well, you can ask your question. It's fine.
Oh, so my question is Roam Loud in the Chicagoland Core Power? Because I'm a member of Core Power Yoga.
Do you, are you referring to like in studio?
Yeah, in studio, Chicago.
I'm not sure. So that's a new rollout, our in studio. So a few months ago, we were only online, but okay. I know they're doing a new rollout where we'll be in studios, but I'm not sure yet exactly which studios, but I can let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. And last but not least, Doc, introduce yourself, please. Goodness.
So hi, my name is Alesh. I am the owner of Head Gear by Dr. Alesh, which is a satin line scrub cap line, and it includes satin line scrub caps, satin line bonnets, and synthetic work wigs. I'm a dentist and a mom to a very wild and free 2-year-old. And I'm from Providence, Rhode Island. And I think that's it.
And that was it. Thank you all so much. So welcome to our guests. I know you all are still rolling in. Just ask you stay on mute until the end. And so at the end, you'll be able to ask whatever questions you want to the panel. But just to get started, I just want to touch on what moved you to start your business. So everyone has their story, something kind of like sparked them. I know for me, I tell my story that when I moved to Providence, Rhode Island in 2017, I was kind of shocked by the lack of diversity here. I had an idea and then I moved here and I was not even close, apparently. And my coworkers would take me out to different bars and restaurants around Providence. And oftentimes, if not every time, I was the only Black person in those spaces. And so I wanted to create a space and curate conversations for people that look like me while also providing a great product. And in that process, my idea was initially to do a cheesecake and sweet tea business. So for Jasz, they were going straight to you. Toyin, they wanted to work out close. So, that was what I wanted to do initially, but that is incredibly expensive. And so I switched over to a bag dry tea product. And from there, that's where I kind of got my start and just focusing on that here. But it all started because I wanted to really address the lack of space here for like-minded young Black professionals here, while also creating a product and creating financial independence for myself. So any of you can jump in and just share what made you start your business.
Okay, well, I'll take the floor. I'll take the floor. So, well, with Two Fish, so what made me start Two Fish is I did a series of things before then. But the Bronzeville neighborhood that we lived in, that I live in currently still, is that there was a lack of sit-down restaurants. There was a lack of quality restaurants in the neighborhood. So it was something that I wanted to bring into the community. I had already had another business that was not too far from the community, not too far from this area. However, a sit-down restaurant and a place where you just did not get food that was completely unhealthy for you. You know, like, and some say gyros, some say gyros, some like with just gyros and like just fried food. We needed a place in Bronzeville where we can, patronize, because to be honest, the gentrification for this area has taken place. And after, in a little while, then there will be no Black owned businesses, because, the neighborhood is actually changing a lot.
And I remember when that first started. So I'm from Inglewood, but we moved to Bronzeville and I was a little further into like middle school. But I lived there when the Ida B. Wells projects were still up. And I remember when I went my freshman year to college at MTSU and came back that summer and it was tore down. I'm like, what's happening? When school came back again, and I'm like, oh, it's white people riding their bikes freely.
Yes. So now in Bronzeville, because of the housing shortage in Chicago, like to even buy a home here, like say 10 years ago, you can probably get a home in Bronzeville. You can probably get one for like $40,000, $50,000, a fixer-upper. So now the shells in Bronzeville, because there are a lot of historic homes in Bronzeville, are selling just for $300,000, and that's with nothing in it. That's just the brick. Mm-hmm. So that is a lot in terms of what it was and in terms of where it's headed now.
Yeah, but that's definitely true, because I know, especially in that area, we love a good pizza puff, some Harold's, some fried fish from J&J. So that's like, but having a space to have, sustainable, nutrient-heavy foods just really didn't exist. That you had Jules there, you had grocery stores, but actual places to sit down and just have a relaxing space like that, and an environment, we didn't have that there. So that is incredibly important. Who's next?
I can go next. So I started wearing scrub caps for work once I had my daughter, because I typically wear my hair in protective styles. And so I'm not washing my hair every single day. And it never really dawned on me that like, okay, I'm working with like splatter in people's mouths. And I just never thought about it until I became a mom, and I'm like, ooh, like, let me figure out how I'm going to protect her. So I started wearing scrub caps. And then but I would still leave my hair out in the back. And then once COVID hit, it just felt like this greater need. Everyone wanted to cover everything up from head to toe, because we didn't really know what we were dealing with. And there just wasn't any scrub caps that were big enough for the style of hair that I wear. And so I started wearing the bonnets that I wear to bed underneath my scrub cap, but that really wasn't like a good look at work, especially I'm the only Black person in my entire building. And so I kind of hold myself to a certain standard of like, you don't really want to stand out in terms of like looking unprofessional. So in a lot of Facebook groups, other dentists were asking like, does anyone know of any satin line scrub caps? And I couldn't really find any satin line scrub caps that were solid colors to match my scrubs. And so enough wanting something, you just get to a point where you're like, well, I just might have to be the person to create the solution. And so I just met with a tailor. We went through different designs and went through some samples. And then I ended up with the design that I have now, which is the satin line scrub cap. and the satin line scrub bonnet. And I offer it in 19 colors, and I'm about to have a satin line headband as well. So continually kind of getting feedback from the people who I want to serve, basically are people just like me who have like textured hair, curly hair, and want to protect their hair in a healthy way while they serve patients.
Awesome. Yeah. And where do you sell?
Online. So I have an Etsy store, and I sell directly on my website, getheadgear.store. And yeah, that's where most of my
Thank you. I think Toyin, you were going to go next.
Yeah. So I always knew I wanted to have my own business, but I couldn't actually get it right. So I've been doing it for a while. But this time around, when I was thinking about what I wanted to do, it was at the same time that I had just started going back to the gym, and I had a friend of mine who she had some type of deal, and I could get like a whole bunch of like new activewear. And so it was like the first day back at the gym, and I had this new activewear on, and I literally felt like a snack. And I was just like, okay, the feeling that I feel right now is like the feeling that I want to, provide to other women. And it was at that moment that I knew that I was going to go into that industry. But at the same time, I knew that I didn't want to just sell activewear, because there's so many other brands. And so I had to think of like what's going to separate me from everyone else. And so I just knew that as a dark-skinned Black woman, that I wanted to disrupt the industry. And I wanted to showcase Black women authentically, through our hair, our skin tones, and just our natural selves. And so that's how Roam Loud was started.
Oh, thank you. Jasz.
So for me, I knew that I wanted to do something fitness related, being an athlete my entire life. So after college, I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, I went from running track to like now I'm going into like what to do. So I started personal training, but also in that same time, like I got pregnant with my son, and the whole time I was pregnant, all I heard was, you're going to snap back, you're going to snap back, you're going to snap back, you're going to snap back. Like everybody kept telling me that because I was fairly thin. So I was expecting to have like a nice snapback. And that was not the case. So I worked really hard to get back in shape. And then people started asking like, how can I do this? How can I do this? So that's when I started like really wanting to help women. Because at first I only wanted to work with other athletes. So then I started working with everyone. And for me, I did get back in shape. However, I still had abdominal separation. And the doctor told me like, the only way that you can fix that is through surgery. And that was disappointing to hear as a trainer. I'm like, I feel like I can figure this out without having to take that route. It has to be other things to do. I feel like the research just hasn't been done. So I started studying it and looking it up and tested exercises on myself and created stuff for myself to see like if it's something that is fixable. And I did. And I went back to the doctor and I was like, this is what I did. And she was like, oh my God. So I felt like if I was having this problem, I know other people were having this problem. And I was like, why are there not more pre and postnatal trainers? And I went looking online to see what trainers were out there. And there are some, but there's no women of color. And I'm like, dang, we need a pre and postnatal trainer. And at this time, I'm still just regular training. And I was like, well, they need you. And so that's when I started studying, and I got my certification in specializing in pre and postnatal corrective exercises, because I feel like a lot of times when we give birth, we just get the baby and go. Nobody tells you like the correct way to restore your pelvic floor, the correct things you can do. They tell you don't exercise, don't do anything. And that's not the case. And I feel like that information is not out there. So it's my job to get it out there.
That is so dope. And I think that's so important because, which we know the disparaging stats about Black women and the experiencing difficulties when it comes to medical situations, especially with pregnancy and the risks that come along with it. So I'm sure just like you, plenty of women been told, I have to have surgery to get this corrected instead of more a holistic way of correcting those things. So I think that is so dope and incredibly important. So thank you. Our next question, what are some challenges that you faced when starting your business? Because I know for me personally, like my background is in science, not business. And people are like, oh yeah, get your EIN number there. I'm like, I don't know what that means. So it's just like, I think that was one for me. It's just like, I don't know how to do this. And so I think, yeah, people, when they speak to you, I feel like trying to find some person that can break things down in layman's terms about what do I need to actually start a business? Because I know for me, I've been in business for 2 years as of April 11th. So just a little bit past 2 years, but I chose to be legitimate from the jump. Some people start at home a little bit, so they start, just out their home. I decided to start completely legitimate out the gate. So LLC, I trademarked my name, same side at the same time. So I did my whole package together. But I hired a lawyer because I work full time. I managed 38 athletic teams by myself. By the time I get home, I don't have the mental capacity to look at contracts, legal forms. It's going to be wrong. So I hired a lawyer, did a package deal. And so that's how I got through it. But what were some other challenges that you all faced when learning and just starting your business and getting it out there?
I'll go first. For me, it was that part, just knowing how to start. And like, I feel like people can start, but if your back end is not clean, like their process is not clean, it's going to make it harder on down the line. And I found that the hard way. And it's because I didn't know. And finding the resources to this information, and having people that's been there, done that, being able to talk with people. So that was the hardest part for me, is learning the correct way to go about things, and not just making money from doing something, but having your EIN, having your LLC, getting all that together, knowing that you're going to have to pay taxes. Like, are you ready for this? Like, if you're going full time in your business, like insurance, like, so those are things that I just knew nothing about. So it was hard to transition from working a 9 to 5, where like I knew what was going to happen, every 2 weeks, to like I'm up and down, up and down, up and down. So it was really hard to get something going and be consistent to where I'm like, okay, I can breathe and I understand what's going on now. So that was my challenge. It still becomes a challenge to this day, because you're always learning.
Absolutely. And just for people that are listening don't know, so EIN is pretty much like your corporate identification number that you will absolutely need for almost everything. Your LLC is just what you said, to actually like be registered as a business. So I know here in Rhode Island, I tell people all the time, like if you can afford a pair of Jordans, you can afford an LLC and to register your business with the Department of Taxation. So I know with us in Rhode Island, I think our LLC is like 110. And then our registration with the Department of Taxation is $35. So to legally start a business, it's $145 to start it there. But
the corporate tax though.
Yeah,
don't forget the corporate tax.
Yeah. There's a $400 something in there.
I did my taxes, slapped me this $400 bill. I'm like, what is this? So I don't know. I guess everyone has it, but Rhode Island, the corporate tax, you just, no matter how much money you make that year, $400. I'm like, what is this? Like, where's this coming from? Like, no one.
You haven't done a thing.
Yeah,
no. Just thought about it.
No. It's like every turn, there's a little surprise for you. It's just like, oh, you thought you were good? Another $100. Another bill. Like, how do I fill out these forms? I think it's all right, it was a 1026 to 65, 1065. And I'm just like, I don't know what this means. I just figured, I was like, you know what, we gonna pray over it and hope I don't get audited, because I'm gonna turn it in.
That's what I had to do.
Like, look, I have good intentions. Just, I'm not trying to scam or get out of nothing. I'm trying. But no, it's just like, not like weird, like your background's not in business, which is, I feel like it's most small business owners. We don't know what these things are, and like the resources to figure them out. We just don't know.
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for me has been that this isn't my first business. So I've done things, and I guess you could say failed, or just stopped those projects or stopped those businesses. And so in this one, it's like I'm treading more lightly, because I'm like, okay, I don't want to, do all the things and make all this, and then this doesn't work out. And then it's just, because I have so many ideas. Like if you see my notes on my phones, it's full of like things. Like I have so many domains, like I have ideas all the time. And so now that this one is like gaining traction, I'm like, so should I stop all the other things I'm doing? Because I'm like always doing something. Because I think that's the hardest part for me, like just focusing on something and saying like, this is going to be the thing because this is what people want. And like, you're actually doing well in this business venture, and like trying to calm my mind to focus on it. And what are the actual things that I need to focus on? Because I love aesthetics. I love photo shoots. And it's like, you're not going to just take photo shoots every week. That's not a business. And so what are the things that you actually need to focus on that bring value to your customer? And it started out as a solution for me, but it's like, I can't make my whole business about me and what I need. And so those are the things. It's like, okay, what do I really need to be thinking about? What do I really need to be focusing on to make this business grow? And that's been the hardest thing for me.
Yeah.
Well, in terms of my business, because Two Fish has been open 5 years this month. So the restaurant has been open 5 years this month. So that is a milestone for, especially for this industry, and especially coming out of 2020. So, and prior to that, like the doctor said, I've had several different businesses, and it's about doing what works for you and what actually makes sense. So the hardest thing for me at this point now is like finding good people. So finding people, making sure that you have the right systems in place in order for people to follow the system, so that they can have it can be the same experience every time.
Right.
So making sure that the model is like correct, because what happens is that we have a lot of people who want to do what it is that they want to do in your business. So I have that. So that is one of the things that is my challenge, and that I'm challenged with now, is just making sure that we have a solid system. So I would encourage anybody to start like right now, and just create those systems so that it doesn't matter who comes in behind you, they can follow the system. And then that way it'll just make your business a lot more successful, and it'll streamline a lot of problems. Like, this is what we have if this problem happens, or this is what we have if this happens. So that is hard when you're building a business like from scratch.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the things that scares me. So I own and operate alone. So every single tea is blended by hand. Every sticker on the package, that's me. Every shipment, that is me. Customer service, CMO, CEO, COO, all the C's, all the C-suites, that is me. And so it's. I think because of that, I put a lot of the stress on my back, because it's a reflection of me. That's my business. So even when business gets a little slow, like I had a record month in April, and it slowed down a little bit after that. I'm like, what happened? I'm like stressing. I was like, my talking to my partner, he's just like, that's how it works, Amber. You're not going to have a record month every month. I was like, well, why not? I was like, it was such a like a rewarding, like fulfilling moment. And it's just like, it's gone. But it's very on and off. I feel like everyone can relate to this. Like, I've quit so many times in my head. It's like, this is so stressful.
I told myself I'm turning in my 2 weeks notice to myself. More. It's a lot of hats. Like, you have to wear every hat. And I don't think that people are really prepared for that when they go into this. Like, you legit have to do everything.
Yeah. And
One thing about the systems that you were talking about, I just hired my first employee because it was just getting to the point where I don't have enough time between being a dentist, being a mom, to like package every single order and, take inventory and all those things. And what I did was everything that I was telling her training wise, I either wrote it down or recorded it to make sure that like she can always reference, because it's hard for me to like let go, because I'm like a perfectionist and my product literally has my name on it and I'm like, it can't be trashed. So it's like recorded it or wrote it down. So I'm like, if I have to do this again, like she can train someone now, just to try to make it scalable. The only way it could be scalable is if I'm not in every single part of every single thing. And that was really hard to say, like, yeah, you're going to have to like let go if you want it to grow.
Yeah, and I think that's where I'm at right now. Just trying to wrap my mind around, like, I cannot keep doing this by myself. But also, quality is the main like concern of my, like, if it's not right, I'm not putting it out.
Right.
Like my personal name is not on it, but people call me the tea lady. Like they know it's mine. Like they know that it belongs to me. Even with my mask on, people like, "Oh, are you the tea lady?" I'm like, "That's not my name, but I'm gonna get a gold nameplate necklace that says tea lady. I'm gonna get one. I'm convinced." But it's just like I'm very particular about how things look.
Absolutely.
And the quality of it. So every single tea that you taste, every single time you buy it, should taste the exact same. Every sticker should be completely lined up. Like I'm very particular. So actually trusting someone else to care enough about my business the way I do is a struggle. But I know I'm gonna have to let some strings go.
And it's just a little bit of information. They are never gonna care as
Never
much
gonna
as you.
care.
They're never gonna care as much as you do. They're never gonna care. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it is your mother might, she might, or your father, they might. But your brother, your nephew, your sister, your cousin, they're never gonna care as much as you do. Your children, they're never gonna care as much as you do. It is your baby.
Yeah, because I want to bring someone from marketing because I hate marketing with the depth of my soul. And so they're like, let's get with these kids from the high school. I'm like, no. Why? Because they're probably not going to be the most dependable. Creatively wise, they're phenomenal. That I'm not a TikTok girl by any means, but creatively, this Gen X, the Gen Zs, phenomenal.
Yeah, they're on it.
They
are on it.
Well, I trust you to be consistent with this, though. No, and so I'm like, you know what? I would just wait and save some money up, or apply to hopefully get a grant or something somewhere, and just hire someone I can trust to actually get these things done. But you got let go at some point, and that's hard. It's your baby. Like I don't have any kids, but this is my baby, and I have to trust someone to care for my baby.
Yeah, so I think that that's the hardest part for me. I mean, for all of us. And I think when you start your business, you initially you believe that everybody's going to work so hard for you. You know, they're working for their check. Yeah, and miss 1 hour or 2 hours on their check, and then you'll have a conversation about it because they'll be like, "Oh no, I worked 32 hours, and you put on here 31.5." But they forgot about the break that they took. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it is a trying, just creating systems. That's all I can say. Just create the system so you can reference back to what it is that is supposed to be done.
Great. I think this kind of eases us into the next question very well. What do you think are some misconceptions that people have about owning a business? I know my main one is that people think I'm Amazon and I'm not. Like I think Amazon has kind of warped people's idea of like how small businesses actually run. Like free shipping is not normal. It's
not.
Shipping is expensive, and so I actually just converted my website over because before I had flat rate, but people were taking advantage of it because I had a partnership with Yelp. And this one lady bought 6 boxes, but she only paid a flat rate of $6.25 for shipping, but I had to pay for that. I'm like, oh no. So I switched over to just the US postal rates, and people are like, "This kind of high." I'm like, yeah, it is, isn't it? Shipping is expensive. Like, yeah, like people like next station, like Amazon, I think is convenient, but when it comes to small businesses, where many times it's 1, 2, maybe at most 5 people, it's kind of warped people's idea of like how these things actually work.
Mm-hmm. I would say one misconception that I hear from other business owners is the expectation that because you have a business, your friends and family will support you or like buy from you. And that's not it. You might not have anybody, but I always tell people, I think it's important that like when you're creating a business or you're creating a brand, that you have to create it not thinking about like your close friends and family buying from you every week. Like, how does it speak to somebody outside of that demographic? Because you'll end up very disappointed.
Oh, absolutely. Like you should absolutely, that thing, everyone goes to that phase at some point. It's kind of heartbreaking. It's like, but you love me. Why don't you buy my things? But it's a thing, like you adjust to people that are actually buying your products, buying your services. Because if you stick to like family and friends, it's like, you will sit there forever waiting for your cousin's second baby mama, cousin, sister, brother to buy your product. Like it's not going to happen. So focus on people buy from focus on your customers, your audience.
Yeah, I think it's really important. Again, as you get more deeper into your business and understand what you're doing, knowing your audience, and with the having the family support, I feel like a lot of people. I mean, your business is personal, so you do take it to heart, but it's you got to understand that sometimes your family or your close friends are not your customers.
Right.
Those are the people that you need to be talking to. And if you are consistent and you stay on it, you will get your audience, you will get your tribe. And then you go from there. But I think a lot of people be like, oh, such and such is not supporting me. But you got to understand also, some people don't even know how to support themselves, let alone somebody else. Mm-hmm. So I think that when you go into business, don't even go in with the thought of everybody needs to support me. This. Like, if you continue to support yourself and show up for yourself, you're going to have people that show up from you from all over the place. Like, your biggest support is going to be someone you don't even know. And that is like your customer, your audience, like the people that you're doing this for.
I have a funny story about a cousin who I felt like, because, you know, we were running together. We were hanging together. And I was just like, oh my God, I cannot believe that she has not been to the restaurant. You know, so I was upset. I could not believe, I just was so upset with her. And when we were talking and I never said anything to her about it. And we were at a family gathering and we were just talking, and she just was like, I just don't like eating my food out of a bag. She was like, I just do not feel like that's something that you should do. And because that is her preference, although she never said that to me, she was like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like eating with my hands and I don't like eating food out of a bag. I never knew that. So I couldn't take the fact that she didn't support me to heart because it was her preference and she just didn't want to do that. But in my mind, I had made up all these reasons why she did not support me, and that just wasn't it. Mm-hmm. So I think that a lot of the times we just have to get out of our own mind. Like, it could be something with them and just not us. So it's just something with them and not us. So that was like an aha moment for me. Like, oh, she don't eat out of a bag. Oh, okay. Just didn't know it. So,
and I think another misconception from just the general public, especially just people that aren't in that area of owning a business, simply because you own a business, especially earlier on, does not mean I know what I'm doing all the time. I cannot tell you how many mistakes I made this past week, and I'm freshly 2 years in the business. It's a learning process, but I think when you're transparent in your branding, people are a lot more forgiving, a lot more lenient when it comes to certain things. So especially this past holiday season, when everyone's shipping things because of COVID, people are not going to in stores as much. So everyone was shipping. Me personally, I had ordered some things that didn't come for almost 2 months. It's people are emailing me, say, hey, I ordered this package here. I'm like, I have the same tracking number you have, baby. I am not US Postal. I have no idea. I'm so sorry that I cannot give you any more information. But I think once people knew, like, hey, I have 60 orders in one day and I have to get these out. Please be patient with me. Thank you so much for your support. But having that face-to-face relationship with your customers and your audience is so important because you become relatable. You're more human and not just your business, but they see you.
Yeah.
And they are more understanding. It's like, okay, well, she's a mom. She has, she works full time. She has a lot on her plate. She's going to get these things done as soon as possible. But that grace, that little bit of grace is so important. It's like, it's an extra like breath of fresh air. It's just like, okay, I can do another day or two and get these things done. But I think, yeah, when people are not aware of your story, they're going to hold you to a standard of your business and not saying, hey, this is a one person. This is not a whole team. This is not a factory. It's not an assembly line. This is a one person. So I think that's just another one. It's just like, okay, people understanding like how many small businesses we don't have business backgrounds. This is constant learning. Anyone else? No, we're good. All right. So move to some highlights. What are some of your proudest moments as a business owner? And please, like I said before, hype yourself up as much as you want to. Jasmine, you are not shy by any means. There. Please hype yourself up. Anyone can go.
I'll go. I feel like I've had a few, but I think the ones that stand out to me the most is my first write-up in a nationwide publication. So HuffPost was the first publication to write about the brand. And seeing my name in the article was probably, it was definitely a surreal feeling. And then it kept happening. And it's always like this new feeling like, oh my God, I can't believe, people that don't know me or don't know the brand are reading about me and just learning. And then I'll say the retail opportunities that have been coming, just seeing those emails come in and knowing that, there's people, on a larger scale that are studying the brand and seeing what I'm doing. Definitely, it's a nice pat on my back. It's like, okay, you're doing that.
Yeah. Next person.
Okay. Okay, well then I'll go. So I will start with the obvious. This is our 5-year anniversary in Two Fish for the restaurant. So yes. Usually I never celebrate like the anniversaries. I just be like, oh, okay, so it's 2 years, 3 years. Okay, let's next. But this year, I am putting just a little bit more effort towards celebrating and being aware that we have been here for 5 years. So I'm excited about that. One of my highlights, and I know y'all don't think this is so corny, but it is mine and I own it. We have our tape with our name on it. So when you order packages, here I go. When you order packages, this was so, you all do not know how excited I was about this tape. So this is one of my things that I'm really excited about. Of course, the retail opportunity with the grocers. So we're in a number of stores, so I'm excited about that. That is good. But just the fact that we're still standing and my tape. So I'm happy about that tape.
Look, tape is nothing short. The way I shouted and hollered, and I got some stickers. And I was so happy because even like my mailer bags are like, that's my logo is everywhere. If you ever order anything from me, my logo is on everything. And so I can be stickers, tape, cardboard box. It's an achievement.
It's exciting.
Yeah. It is really exciting for this. So I like that.
Thank you. Next.
My highlight, so this is month 5 for me. So I'm probably the freshest out of all of us, but it's just getting feedback from customers. Because I had this thought in my head and then I put it out into the world and didn't know what was going to happen. And I promised myself I was going to do it in 2020. And I talked myself out of it so many times. I launched on December 27th. I was like, no, you're going to fulfill the promise that you made to yourself. So for me to still be doing it and people to give me feedback and say they're so happy that this product exists, that their hair needed a break, that, it helps them protect their edges, while they're a nurse or a doctor or a dentist, that for me has just been the biggest thing. And then I just got a write-up from my school that just got published a couple of days ago. So just seeing people hear about what I'm doing and saying, oh, wow, this is great. We want to talk to you more about this. It makes me feel really good. All right, I'm doing something that people find value in. So those have been the highlights so far. And so right now I just want to scale and just have it be available to more people who will find value in that.
Jasz.
Okay, so I have so many, so I'm going to try to share my most favorite ones, but I will start with you said what?
Roll off.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with my first one. When I first wanted to train, period, my friend and my sister, she was getting drafted into the WNBA, and she's like, hey, you want to train me? And I was just like, I'm just getting started. I was nervous, and she believed in me more than I believed in myself at the time. And she was like, no, you can do this, let's go. And she is year 6 in her season, and I've still been able to train her. And I love that because she can go to anybody. She's already established, but yet she still chose to keep working with me, and I love that. And so I've worked with a couple of different influencers and celebrities, and I'm just like, yo, y'all be noticing me, like, yo, y'all are willing to collab and connect with me and do workout and, you know, use your platform to, you know, help lift me up. And I love that. And last but not least, um, I love when my clients send me their progress photos. Like, there's no greater satisfaction than somebody saying, hey, you helped me get to my goals. Hey, like, I feel more confident. Hey, like this. And it's like sometimes when I'm frustrated within, you know, myself, like I go back to those and I look at it and I'm like, these are all the people that you are helping, and what you're doing is helping people. And that's what I love. Like, there's no price on that.
Yeah, I think for myself also reading customer reviews are so rewarding. Like I started using Google Ads just as an extra way to like do SEOs and get my business out there. And I got a review a few weeks ago from this man. He's not even in Rhode Island, not in New England. He's like, yeah, I just happened to find this tea shop by like randomly on Google. And it's not my favorite one. I can't even tell you which blend I love because I love them all. I'm just like, you like my tea? You don't know. It's so rewarding. It's just like hearing people say, I love the not like of course like platforms like this where it's like it's impactful community and engaging. Love that. But my product I make by hand. I design those blends. I hand pack this. So to have someone say, I love the taste, I love the quality of all of these, say I'm like your favorite tea shop. I'm like, there's Lipton, there are a million and one tea blends, but you like mine. Like that is huge for me. And it's so heartwarming. And like I sit there, I
Because
read
it is the best.
so
It's the best.
thank you.
Yeah, Lipton does not compare. Let's not bring up Lipton.
That's what I think. If you go to the grocery store and get like a bag of tea, like Celestial tea or like Lipton, it's like dust.
Yes.
Yeah, it's no taste.
They're in a bag.
They use a bunch of artificial, even like natural flavoring. It's like a heavy taste in your palate. Where mine is just the tea, just the herbs, just the spice. I don't add any additional flavorings. What you're tasting, it's very flavorful, but still very delicate, which makes it so much different from other tea blends. But it's like so I do consider myself a creative where I don't do music, I don't do art, but like flavor is my creative avenue. I love
It's
like
the art.
cocktails and different food combinations and flavors. Like so people's like, oh, I've never had a black pepper and chocolate chai blend before. And they love it. Like that is so rewarding for me. And like on top of that, like the article publications like being highlighted in certain spaces. Even with was it last June when George Floyd was murdered, everyone had these lists of black owned businesses to support. And people added me to a lot of those. And from that, I've been getting a lot of like links. And so like a month before last in March, I was selected for a partnership with Nike where they did a gift for, thank you.
That's major.
When I tell you, because she didn't tell me it was Nike at first. It was a marketing company. She said, hi, one of our clients is looking to do just a gift for their employee, their staff. We just need codes to give to everyone. They can choose between, you, whoever's in your region, but the one to choose you're not just buying the codes from you. I said, okay. They send me the persona release form just to like use my logo and things. And it said Nike, and the way I hollered. And I was just like, it's Nike. I called my best friend. She works for the Portland Trailblazers, and I was like, it's Nike. She's like, well, it's perfect. That put me on even more because with their organization, they try to stay local. So now that I work with Nike, I can now work with the Trailblazers. I'm like, look at God.
Yeah.
I think for me, because there was so many, like I like legit. It was, I think, October 2019. I was going to dissolve my business. I was just like, this is taking a lot of money. Like I started like 6 months into business. I was being a big baby, but it was like I was just like the brand was growing, but the revenue wasn't. And so I was talking to one of my friends, and he's just like, no, just hold on. It's going to come. Just be patient. Like, I'm tired, and this is a lot of work. And I'm like, it's just a lot of money. And so I'm sitting there crying on the phone with him. Literally 2 days later, it's a store here called Stock Culinary Goods on on the East End. And the owner, she followed my Instagram page for I think since I started it. And she just randomly emailed me and said, "Hey, I love your brand, so let's see your success. Do you wholesale yet? And would you like to start here?" Like at tears.
Look at God.
Like alignment has been
Mhm.
phenomenal. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't consider myself religious, but me and God, we talk every day. That's the homie. But I just alignment has been so on point. So I think that's why I'm very, very proud of it. It's just like allowing myself to like transform into the business owner. And I think being able to move out of my own way, because I think a lot of people, they get to a position where like, no, this is my vision for my business, this is how it has to go, and people kind of get stuck because your business is going this way but your vision is that way and you refuse to go that way. And so being able to adjust to my business and not trying to make my business adjust to me, I had to adjust to my business, and being able to do that was so important for me. So that, I think that was my proudest moments, because the tears that have been shed over this business, the migraines and sleepless nights, but it's been so worth it so far. See, time, I think we're good on time. Just to wrap it up, just to ask you guys to share any tools that were helpful to you throughout your business, from initiation, ideal stage to now. Like, what tools were helpful to you?
I think the most helpful thing for me has been Shopify,
Mm.
because it has, like, I've had businesses before and I had Squarespace and different things. And I don't know, Shopify has made it really easy for me to sell online. And then when I added Etsy, that increased my sales a lot because they do a lot of marketing a reach that I would never be able to get like on my own. And so I now get more like organic Google searches. And I think just having the power of those bigger brands when I'm selling online, like now that things are opening up, like I can go to like medical trade shows and different things to put myself out there. But when everything was shut down, it's like, I think that's the reason why I was able to get a lot of customers, because most of my customers are not from Rhode Island and they don't know me. And I think having those brands has helped me a lot.
Great.
I'll say, like Jaca, Shopify is definitely the way to go, and it's been super helpful for me. I always, when anyone asks me what platform to use, I always say, if you're selling product, you should be selling on Shopify. But I'll also say, for social media, some tools that have been helpful for me outside of Canva, Mujo has been a great app. I love that app to just makes your images or your videos just look way more professional. Later.com is helpful, obviously, to like schedule out things because you can't always post as you go. And then, I mean, Canva, but Canva Pro, so pay for it.
Yes.
Paying for it is
Canva is everything.
It is worth it.
You all are teaching me a lot. I don't know what Umja is. I don't know what later.com is.
Mujo.
I do not know what any of that is. You all just taught me. I'm trying to write these down. Okay, so Mujo.
Yeah.
Later, can you put it in the chat so I think get it? Because okay.
And Later is an app that just allows you to set up your posts and schedule them out so you don't have to worry about it. So if you like take a day like to plan out, like, okay, this is what I'm going to be posting, you just set it all up, and later you don't have to worry about it no more.
It's like a marketing calendar. So you can
It's actually Mojo, not Mujo. But if you Google Mojo on your, I don't know if you have an iPhone, if your app store, Mojo, you'll find that.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that. Insta story editor. Okay. All right, that was a good one for me. And Later.
Yeah, Later is good to schedule out your stuff.
Downloading it now. Okay, I'm trying to figure out what tool has been good for me. Because I'm trying to figure this one out.
Jasz, you want to go while she's thinking of one?
Yeah, let me take it.
Okay, so y'all, I'm gonna like bring it all the way back to the basics. For me, the most helpful thing was a planner, a really good planner at that, because being organized and being able to have everything written out and keeping track, it makes a difference And so my favorite planner is called the Passion Planner. And I love it because it does a great job of breaking down, like, you know, personal over here, business over here. And also in the planner, like it has timestamps. So like, you know, like at this time you're doing this, this time you're doing this. And like after the week, it's a reflection. After the month, it's a reflection after that. So I think sometimes we get so busy and caught up in things that you forget to reflect on your wins. And so it does a great job of that. And like each week you working on a goal, like look up the Passion Planner, because it's a great just self-help thing, like where you're not running yourself crazy or where all your thoughts are just scattered all over the place. Like, because they even have like a space where you can like basically do a brain dump. Like, so I love it. Also, because yeah, I'm a morning routine person. So if I don't have myself together, I can't move forward, period. So I also like the 5-minute journal where I wake up and just give gratitude. So it helps just keep me on track and not think about the things that are not going well, but focus on what is going well and move from there and move with a positive attitude, and hopefully that, you know, transcends throughout the whole day.
Yeah. I'm gonna take it even further back to the basics for you. Excel. Just having a basic Excel sheet, because there are other like softwares and technologies you can use for like inventory. But if you're just starting out, like I started out with no money, so you find things that are easiest for you. Like my website is on Squarespace, simply because the podcast I listened to, the Read had a discount code, and that's why I use it. So you use, like, you work with what you got. And so starting out with your business, like if there are discount codes, use them. If you can use, you know, Excel sheet to just do, you know, keep up, you know, daily inventory, just things that are very, very simple to keep you in line and keep you abreast of where your business actually is.
And you can Google templates for that, because for me, I haven't worked in Excel or Sheets since college. So I had to relearn the formulas and all that again. So I was just like, I don't have time for this. So to Google and use templates for that, like Google is your friend when it comes to stuff like that to help you stay on track. Like, yes, in co-working like space as an entrepreneur, a lot of your friends are, you know, probably working 9 to 5s. It's not really a lot of other entrepreneurs. And so for me, just stay on track, I have to reach out to my other entrepreneur friends like, hey, y'all want to have like a co-working time? So like where we are all being productive, because if you don't set that time will get away from you. You look up and be like, what did I do today?
Yeah, that's really important too. Just like, you know, having a planner is important. Keeping like a line, like organization is so important. And so like for myself, I will even say I didn't do this until last year, my first year of business. I made a couple coins, but none that I needed help with. Last year, it's like, okay, I paid taxes. I thought I paid taxes. I did it completely wrong. So I hired a bookkeeper last year. And so if you can afford one, having a bus out, like, look, if you are not, it's not using your budget, please do not stress your pockets and do not go broke trying to do the absolute most. You can find a simple way to do it, do that. Last year, I was actually able to afford a bookkeeper, and she has been my saving grace. Absolutely. And so even when it comes to like creating my projections and like updating my business plan, she does it's in QuickBooks. She does my P&L. She does all my sheets for me every single month. So everything is done for me. I don't need to look for, you know, my averages, anything, my P&Ls, everything is right there. So if you can, it's been incredibly helpful. I mean, she's so organized that when I had to get an accountant to do my taxes for my business, it was like I didn't have one. And so she referred me to someone who actually already knew. And he was like, I don't have space for any more clients. He was like, who referred you? I said, oh, Dolly did. He's like, oh, she's super organized. I can do it for you easily because I know how organized she is. And I was able to get that done. But like I said, I think you need to decipher where your priorities should be, especially financially in your business. So some things it doesn't require you to do that right then and there. Everything doesn't have to be perfect, especially starting off. Just get it out there, please. But I think that's the most important part. Very good. All right, any other points? Nope. All right. So we are finito. I think I'm gonna open this now to any questions from any of the viewers. If you have them, you can unmute yourself and just ask your question.
Hi, my name is Avadali. I don't have a question actually, but back to the Excel for anyone who is just starting off on it or may have difficulties was actually even easier than Google is in the actual Excel spreadsheet. You go to the search area, literally you can type exactly what you wanted to do and it will just give it to you step by step. It's much easier than trying to scroll between the two screens of the to do. And a lot of times it actually just does it for you as long as you plug everything up row by row. Just a tip.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you're all amazing. I caught a little bit of it, but all amazing, amazing.
Thank you.
I have a question. In reference to some of you said you'd had multiple businesses and some of you have singular businesses. Have any of you had any practice with putting a business into a trust?
I have not done that yet. I don't think my business is big enough to do that just yet.
Well, you can do it with your attorney, like your estate planning attorney. So if you have an estate, if once you start, and I suggest that you start now, because you can just get revocable trust. And then once with the revocable trust, you can change it until, whenever you want. So I do believe as long as someone talks to an estate attorney.
Okay, and the reason I'd asked was I have some disabilities and I'm also much older than all of you. So wanting to make sure that my daughter will be able to have the business and sustain it and receive things from it. That's why I'm looking at that, because she's a minor, and making sure that there still would be something. And also in case there's some intellectual property later on that there could be residuals from, that she would be able to receive that. Just a lot of forethought.
Well, you would definitely want to speak with your estate attorney about that. So if you talk to your estate attorney about once you guys set up, do you have a normal trust? Like if you already have a trust set up, you can do an irrevocable trust if you want it for your daughter, since you're not going to change it to create a succession plan. So you would want to speak with the estate attorney about it. But I think that is a good way to go.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. You're welcome.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? No? Cool. Well, before we head out, would you ladies like to plug or promo any new products, new services, anything you have coming up, events?
Well, for me, I do virtual fitness. And so tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time, we are doing workouts. You can go sign up for the class at jazzgymfit.com. I do workouts Monday through Friday, 6:30. We are up and at it, getting to it. As I told y'all before, I'm really big on how we start our day. So I know that 6:30 is the forefront of your day. So I like to give people that energy and that like after that workout, you feeling good, feel like you can conquer the world, take over, let's go. And that's the energy that I bring to my class. And that's the energy that I bring to the women that come on and do these workouts with me. And also I do have some other things coming up. If you follow me on Jazz Gym Fit, where I will be dropping different workouts from time to time, and you can do workouts in your own home.
Thank you. Anyone else?
For me, if you are a healthcare provider or know a nurse, a dentist, a doctor, a chef, anyone who would benefit from a satin line scrub cap or scrub bonnet, please share my information with them. I would love to support them with satin line headgear. And it's www.getheadgear.store.
For me, you can, to get your active wear, you can visit roamloud.com, ROAM loud.com. I am currently running a sale sales are few and far between. So our wanderers are already like, oh, I definitely need to scoop this up. So we're doing a buy one, get one free. There's a specific set that we're pushing, so feel free to take a look at that. And you can follow us on social media. Instagram is where we're heaviest, so you can follow at Roam Loud. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, Pinterest, and all those good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Well, for Two Fish, you can visit us at twofishcrabshack.com. If you want to order some of our seafood boil sauce, you can order it on our website. We are rolling out a shrimp-only seafood boil that will be coming out within the next week or so, but it's only in the Chicago and Wisconsin area now. If you want it to be in your local grocer, go ahead and speak to them. We are with Kroger. Kroger owns the grocery stores that we're in now, but we're just not in the actual Kroger store. So if you talk to the manager, just mention our name, and then they can ask for us and we can bring them to your area.
Awesome. Thank you. For me, I have the Me Time boxes out. So don't forget, this is also Mental Health Awareness Month. So this is very big on self-care and taking care of yourself. So there are two different ones. There's a regular one. There's also a deluxe Me Time box. I'm also right now rolling out a small rebranding. So we redid the regular size pouches. So they look like this now. This is my new packages. So I'm really excited about those. I think I keep saying we. I will be working with some local bars again this summer, which I did last summer. I worked with a few local bars to do tea-infused cocktails. I think I'm going to be doing that again this summer. So keep an eye out for that if you're in the Rhode Island or New England area. Once again, I actually just started doing wholesales by the pound for restaurants and cafes. So right now, the first one is actually Hunky Dory in Warren, Rhode Island. It's a new restaurant there. So if you're interested in having my teas in your local cafes, bars, restaurants, hotels, please let them know. The website is theblackleaftea.com. To reach out to me directly for that size of wholesaling for the restaurants and cafes. If they are looking for just bulk orders for the tea bag themselves, they can go to fair.com, and that is theblackleaftea.fair.com. All right. All right. I think everyone is good. So everyone, I think they dropped their Instagram handles in the chat. And I think that will be it until next time. Thank you all so much for being here. From my panelists, when you have a chance, send me your addresses. I would love to send you a gift as a thank you for participating. And I think we're good. So thank you all.
All right.
Thank you. And it was great being on here with all you ladies. Y'all are amazing and at everything that y'all do. So I enjoyed today.
Yes. Thank you.
And this is recorded, so I'll have it whenever it's done downloading, and I'll edit the pieces out today. All right. All right. They have a good
Thank you.
Sunday.
Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.